Hello, everyone. Welcome to Gentle Yoga, Wednesday morning here in Palm Springs. I'm Leo Bray coming to you from Kristen Olson's Urban Yoga Center here in Palm Springs. I'm back in Urban Yoga Center, not at my house where I've been for the last several classes. Good to be here, and I'm glad you're all here. Please remember to visit us online at urbanyoga.org or Kristen Olson's Urban Yoga Center on Facebook to check out the rest of the class schedule, where we have daily offerings on Zoom, classes 4 days a week in the park. Stay tuned about the park classes because they're shifting us to another park because they're reseeding the grass at the park we've been using. So actually in the works today trying to find out which park they want us to go to. So if you're planning to come to the park tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, check out our page so you know which park to go to. And also on those pages, there's a tip jar where you can make contributions towards our Zoom classes and classes on YouTube for those who don't participate live and check out videos later. I know some of you do both, and that's wonderful too. So we'll start in a seated position today. You don't have to sit the way that I'm sitting. Sit so that you're comfortable. This is comfortable for me, but it might not be comfortable for you. However you sit, feel your contact with the ground, whatever's touching on the ground. Think about the length of your spine, crown of your head reaching up. So you're sitting tall, but not sitting rigid or stiff. And if you want to, close your eyes. Do what you want with your hands. Let them rest wherever it's comfortable. Observe your breathing. Give it some time at the start to slow down and get deeper. Taking in the way that your body moves as you inhale and as you exhale. Observing whatever sensations accompany these movements. Scan your body head to toe. Notice whatever else is there to be noticed. What is your experience of this moment? What is going on in your body right now? Make special note of anything that doesn't feel so good. If you've got any stiffness or soreness going on. If you don't, congratulations. That's wonderful too. Maybe you just notice how great you feel. Noting these trouble spots if you've got any, so you can keep them in mind during practice, remembering that you're welcome to skip or modify anything I'll be doing to accommodate what you've got going on and find the practice that's best for you. And maybe in addition to these shared intentions, you have in mind a more personal, specific intention for your own practice. Maybe you came in thinking of one. Maybe you just thought of one now when I mentioned it. Maybe that's not part of your practice. If it is, we'll take a few breaths now to set any other intentions you wish to set. Before we begin moving around, let's take 3 deep cleansing breaths together. Breathe in through your nose, breathe out through your mouth with a sighing sound. Let your eyes open up if they're still closed. Let's start at the bottom. Start with the feet. Take either leg, and lift one leg. And with the opposite hand, put your fingers between your toes. Support this leg however you want with this hand, this arm, whatever grip works for you. And roll your foot in some nice, slow, gentle circles. And maybe the slow is the hardest part. Slowing down can be tricky, and slow is a relative term. Maybe you don't go as slow as I do. Maybe you go even slower. As I say that, I realize I'm going faster than I usually do, so I slow down some more. Change direction. Take a few in each direction. Letting the foot hang limp, letting the hand do the work. You can roll your ankle like this without using your hand, but that produces a different effect than letting your hand help roll your foot around. Release your toes. Now use both arms, both hands to support your leg. Again, you don't have to grip the way I'm gripping. This grip works for me. I'm going to make some circles with your whole leg, rocking your femur around in your hip socket. Nice and slowly. Maybe your circles are bigger than mine. Maybe they're not as big. It doesn't matter. Take a few circles the other way. Let that leg down and hold the other leg. Let the foot hang limp. Get your fingers smooshed in between your toes. Start those nice slow circles for your ankle. Circle the other way. And release your toes. Support your leg with both hands, both arms. Make those nice slow circles with your leg in your hip socket. Change direction. Let your leg down. Rest your hands on your knees or on your thighs. Inhale, draw your heart forward, let your head tip back. Exhale, draw your heart back, let your head tip forward. Follow your breath. Maybe your breath's no longer than mine, maybe they're shorter. Maybe the movements get a little bigger, the breaths get a little longer. Feel how the movement helps the breath. Your lungs want to fill as you draw your heart forward, your diaphragm goes down. Your lungs want to empty, drawing your heart back. And let's bring a circular aspect into the movement now. As you come forward, go to one side. As you go back, go to the other, and see if you can keep both of those sitting bones on the ground. The bones in your seat. Some yoga teacher made up sitting bones, or some say sits bones, because ischial tuberosities is too big of a mouthful. That's what they're called. But that's a lot. Sits bones, sitting bones. To put it more simply, keep both cheeks on the ground. Stay grounded. I don't want anybody to tip over. Still breathing in as I come forward and breathing out as I go back. Maybe that's too much and you just let go of tracking the breath. Change the direction at some point. Take some circles the other way. Try to resist leading with the head. Sometimes we let the weight of the head sort of fly around and the circles get bigger. Not only can that lead you towards tipping over, but you can hurt your neck. Keep a little supportive tension in the neck so the head doesn't go flopping around. When you finish your next exhale, sit up. More circles. Let your chin come down towards your chest. Roll your left ear towards your shoulder. Let your head tip back. Take your time. If you encounter a tight spot, maybe you pause at the tight spot and rock back and forth. Start to ease out some of that tension. Here too, stay anchored in your seat. You're probably not making big enough circles to not be anchored, but maybe you are. And try to let your shoulders stay relaxed. Sometimes, instead of rolling our ear towards our shoulder, we lift our shoulder towards our ear. That doesn't have the same benefit for your neck. Sometimes I'll even move my hands from my legs to the floor to make sure my shoulders stay disengaged. Change direction if you didn't already. Maybe you already did. Sometimes the same movement in the opposite direction feels quite different. A tightness or a pain that was present in one direction might not be present in the other. When you finish your next circle, lift your chin and look forward. Bring your hands out to the sides, rest your fingertips on the floor, stay long in the spine. Inhale, reach your left arm up alongside your ear. Exhale, reach across to the right, lean into that right hand. Try not to let the right shoulder smoosh up towards the ear. Feel from your left hip up through your fingertips. Stay anchored in your seat. Let your head be wherever your neck is comfortable. Inhale, come on up. Exhaling, we'll come into a twist. Pull your left hand to the floor behind you. Bring your right hand to your left leg. Inhale, lengthen up, press into the floor with the hand behind you. Exhale, invite your body to twist some more. Staying grounded here too. There's our theme today, groundedness. We can be grounded in any posture. So I'm grounding with the hand behind me. My ankles are grounded. My seat is grounded on both sides pretty equally. Slowly come back to the center. Inhaling, reach your right arm up alongside your ear. As you exhale, reach across to the left, lean into the left hand. Stay anchored in your seat. Feel for length from your right hip up through your right fingertips. So maybe to keep the shoulder down away from the ear, the hand slides out like my hand's doing here, just feeling into that, letting the shoulder stay down. Inhale, come upright. As you exhale, bring your right hand to the ground behind you. Bring your left hand across to your right leg. Inhale to lengthen up. Exhale to explore your twist. See how much twist feels like enough. Let yourself unwind and come back to center. You don't have to scoot backwards. I'm scooting backwards so I don't go off camera as I do this. Bring your hands in front of you. Walk them forward and simple. Loose forward fold. Don't worry about what it looks like. Just walk your hands out to wherever you can and let your neck disengage. Let your head drop towards the floor. And breathe into your lower back. Inhaling, walk your hands back in towards your legs. Sit yourself up. Take your time to make your way up onto your hands and knees. Maybe you tip forward, maybe you tip to the side. Open your hands way up. Feel your whole palms on the floor. Bring your shoulders above your wrists, your hips above your knees. It's okay too if that feels like too much on your wrists to have your shoulders behind your wrists a bit. So grounding points, feet and knees and hands, and we'll explore doing some core work by lengthening the limbs and reducing the number of grounding points. Reach back with your left foot, press the ball of your foot against the floor. So that leg grow longer. Think of your heel moving away from your tailbone. With an inhale, reach your right arm forward with your thumb pointing up like you want to tap the wall with those fingertips. If you want to go further, you can pick the foot up, reach straight back through the sole of your foot like you want to step on the other wall, make a footprint. To go even further, you could bend your knee, you could reach that hand back, and maybe you can connect and take a bind. If you get the bind, kick against your hand, lift your knee, and lift your chin. Release, and lower your knee, lower your hands. Reach back and press into the ball of your right foot, and take a few breaths. On an inhale, reach your left arm forward, thumb up, fingertips reaching for the wall. If you like, on your next inhale, pick your foot up and reach straight back in the air. And if you like, bend your leg, reach back, see about that bind, opening your midline in your shoulder and stretching your right quadriceps. Release and lower down. Inhale, bring your heart forward, let your head and tailbone go up. Exhale, bring your heart up, let your head and tailbone come down. I just realized I was wearing my sunglasses hanging on the back of my tank top. Just, what is this sensation on my back? Put them there when I first entered the building. I was answering screening questions at reception, and then I forgot to put them away. Maybe you were looking at them on the video and wondering what the heck he had on his back. Might have been startling and expensive had I laid down on my back. After your next exhale, let your spine come to neutral. Bring your big toes to touch. If you like, open your knees further apart. Sit back towards your heels, making our way to child's pose. You could slide your hands forward or walk them forward. Let your head come down to the floor. If your head doesn't reach the floor, you could stack your hands and rest your head on your hands. You could put a pillow or yoga block under your head. You want your head resting on something so your neck will disengage. You could keep reaching your arms forward, make your child's pose more active, or let your arms go slack, or you even reach them back, let them disengage even more. And just come back to your breath. Notice the movements of your breath like we did at the start of practice. Notice what's going on in your body. Maybe come back to an intention that you've forgotten about. Our mind always wanders. We just gently redirect and come back as many times as needed.
If your hands are reaching back towards your feet, bring them forward again. Walk your hands over to the left. Let your head come with your arms. Maybe even stack your right hand on top of the left. Take a couple deep breaths. And slowly walk your hands back through center and over to the right. Head tracking with the arms. Maybe stack your left hand on top of your right. Walk your hands back to center. Inhale, come forward. Draw hands back, come to table. We'll explore some rocking movement here, staying anchored in hands and knees and feet. Exhale, sit back towards your heels, sort of like child's pose. Inhale, glide forward, and maybe it's just shoulders above wrists, or maybe you start to go further. See how your body feels. Maybe your hands even scoot forward more. If your shoulders want to come forward, your hips can start to drop, your heart can start to open, drifting into or towards cobra pose. And just explore. Inhale on the forward movement. Exhale on the back. And see how far your body wants to go with each movement, the forward and the back. So maybe your movements are smaller than mine. Maybe they're bigger. It happens that I took a colleague in Boston's yin yoga class yesterday evening, and did some really deep hip work. So I pretty quickly started to come to Cobra here because most of what we did in Calvin's class last night was opening the front of the hips. So it's okay if you're not coming forward this far. We've all had different mornings, just like we all had different evenings yesterday. Maybe at either end of the movement, you pause and go back and forth. Maybe wag your tail in your child's pose, see how that feels. Maybe as you come forward into or towards your cobra, rock back and forth there. Explore sensation in the front of those hips. And after your next exhale, let's inhale forward to table. Step your left foot up between your hands. And bring your hands to your knee, lift yourself up. Find steadiness. So I'm scooting around, repositioning my foot and my knee. Bringing this knee above this ankle, this back hip above the back knee. And this leg behind that knee. Those are visual cues for steadiness, but make any adjustments in the width of your stance until you feel nice and steady. When you're steady, exhale, sink forward in your hips, as much or as little as you want. Inhale, glide back. And if you want, you can add arm movements there, raise one arm or both arms. Exhale, sink forward, lower your arms to cactus, or parallel to the ground. Inhale, glide back and reach up. You can always leave one hand on your knee or bring it to your knee as needed. If you start to wobble too much or start to tip over. You can always pad your knee. I don't often get this, but I'm getting a little sensitive in this knee.
here right now, so I'll just throw that pillow under my knee. You could throw a folded blanket under your knee. Sometimes folks will just fold the edge of their yoga mat to add another layer of mat between the knee and the floor. From the top of the movement, let's twist. Reach your left hand forward, reach your right hand back, twist to the right. Left hand can always come to the leg as needed. Just steady yourself. Come back through center with your hands to your heart. That can help steady you. And then twist to the left. Right hand can always come to the knee. If you want, if you need. Come back to center. Let's bring the hands down on either side of that left foot and bring the left knee back to the floor. Step the right foot forward. The left knee feels okay. I'll move my pillow out of the way. Bring your hands to your right knee. Lift yourself up. Find that steady stance before you start with the rocking. When you feel grounded in this new foundation shape, exhale, sink forward. Inhale, glide back. Notice how each part that's touching the ground helps stabilize you at different parts of the movement. When you're ready, you can add in the arm movement as you like. From the top of the movement, twist to the left. Come back to center with your hands at your heart and twist to your right. Come back to center. Bring your hands to the floor and step your left foot up to meet your right. Hang out in a forward fold. Sway back and forth. Bend and straighten your legs a little or a lot. Feel the heaviness of your arms and your head. Slowly nod your head yes. Shake your head no. Inhale, lift up halfway, bring your hands to the front of your legs. Push against your legs, feel for the crown of your head moving forward away from your tailbone. Exhale, relax down. Inhale, roll to standing, hands up overhead. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart. Then let your hands hang at your sides. Lift your left shoulder towards your ear. Shift it back. Let it down. Your right shoulder up, back, down. Inhale, reach out to the sides. Exhale, reach for your shoulder blades and hug yourself, or if you like, you can come to eagle arms. Intertwine your arms and press your palms together. If you're taking eagle, then lift your elbows and your hands and move them forward. Feel the grounding contact in your feet as you're opening the space between your shoulder blades. Inhale, open up. As you exhale, cross your arms the other way, reach for your shoulder blades or take eagle. Notice how the grounding sensation in your feet feels different in each arm configuration. As your upper body moves around, your legs and your feet adjust. Your body knows to make these adjustments. You don't have to tell your legs and feet what to do. The body just responds. Inhale, open. Exhale, let your arms down. Inhale, out and up. Interlace your fingers. Flip your palms up. Look up at your hands. Lift up your heart. Inhale, bring yourself upright. Exhale, bend to the right. Feel full length through both arms. Try not to lift the left heel. So staying grounded in both feet. Just as we stayed grounded in both sitting bones when we did side bends from our seats. On an inhale, bring yourself upright. As you exhale, bend to the left. Keep your right foot anchored. Inhale, come up. Exhale, let your arms come down. I'll grab a quick sip of water. Now we'll play with shifting our grounding around a bit more. Maybe a little more challenging way. We're going to play with maybe standing on one leg. You're welcome to step over by the wall, where you'd be able to reach out and put your hand on the wall, or perhaps a desk, chair, bedpost, whatever furniture is handy. We'll play with tree pose. Bring your hands to your heart. Shift your weight from one leg to the other with your feet planted. Set your eyes on something straight ahead that won't move. And when you're ready, bring the weight into your left leg. Let that knee stay soft and responsive. Turn your right toes out so your feet are perpendicular. You can look at your feet and check if they're perpendicular or as close to perpendicular as you can get them. Let the left knee stay soft and responsive. Start to slide the right heel in. Bring your heel up onto your ankle. So here's the beginning of tree pose, and maybe that's where you stay. Put the ball of your foot and toes on the ground, heel on the ankle. Maybe that's the right amount of grounding for your tree pose on this side today. Each side is different, each day is different. Maybe you bring the sole of your foot onto your calf. And maybe it stays there, or maybe you put it down, pick it up again. You can do that anytime. Your hands could stay here, your hand can come over to support, or you can let the branches of your tree go anywhere you like. Make sure you're breathing, because trees need air, and tune into the dynamic of your breath in the balance, in the standing pose. Think of rooting and rising. Think of the roots of the tree. Inhale, rise. Your lungs fill, your spine lengthens. Exhale, root down. Your lungs are emptying out and your spine is contracting. We root to rise and we rise to root. And maybe there's breeze in your branches, or maybe your tree is more still. Maybe you want to just really feel into your grounding, or maybe you want to challenge your grounding. Maybe you want to play with different degrees of grounding. If your hands are elsewhere, bring them back to your heart. Pivot your knee forward and let your foot down. Shake that left leg and anything else that wants a shake.
It just feels good to shake things sometimes. When you're ready, bring your hands to your heart. Shift your weight back and forth a few times, resetting the hips, regrounding your feet. Do this as many times as you like. When you're ready, let the weight fall into your right leg, then turn your left toes out. Take your time, set your eyes on that immovable point to help anchor you. Start to bring your foot in, bring your heel up. See where this side wants to take it. Let your arms find whatever expression they want. Check in with your breath. Check in with the right knee. Is it bouncy? Is it flexing? A locked knee might seem stable, but it's better to have a mobile knee, bouncy knee, like a shock absorber, like a spring, a responsive knee. A locked knee can feel steady, but your foot's going to move. Your knee ought to move with your foot. Your upper body's going to move. That's going to make your leg want to move. It's all connected. Anytime you can drop your foot, pick it up again. If your hands are elsewhere, bring them to your heart again. Pivot your knee forward. Let your foot down. Shake as needed. Come down and have a seat. And we go from maybe standing on one foot to all kinds of grounding. Extend your legs out in front of you. Flex your feet towards you. Grounded in much of the lower body. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, fold down over your legs. If your knees want to bend, let them bend to whatever degree they want. As you inhale, think of the crown of your head reaching forward. As you exhale, think of your forehead lowering down. Inhaling, slowly walk your hands up the front of your legs and sit up. Let your arms help your legs open out to whatever degree they can, the edge of your comfort zone. And walk your hands down your legs to wherever you can. Maybe it's your knees, shins, ankles, maybe it's your feet. Inhale, lengthen up through the crown of your head. Exhale, let your neck relax, let your chest dip forward. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, relax down. A few more breaths, and maybe there's some movement, or maybe you just breathe right where you are now.
Inhaling, walk your hands up the front of your legs and sit up. Use your arms to push your legs back towards each other. Draw your knees up. Plant the soles of your feet. Bring your hands behind you, scoot towards your heels. Lower onto your forearms and onto your back. So you end up lying down on your back. Bring your heels as close to your butt as they'll go. Press into the soles of your feet. This is going to be your main grounding point. Feet, shoulder blades, back of the head as we explore bridge pose. Inhale, press your hips up. Take a couple breaths. Make sure your neck's relaxed. So your head's on the ground, your shoulder blades on the ground, but your neck is disengaged, passive. Exhale, let your hips down. Explore moving up and down as you like. Inhale to go up and exhale to go down. That's the basics. To make it more challenging, you can see about moving more slowly or going up higher or taking more breaths at the top. To make it less challenging, take more breaths at the bottom. As you move, let the movement be smooth and continuous like your breath. Let the movement help the breath. Inhales, going up. Exhales, coming down. The breath helps the movement as the movement helps the breath. As you come down, really let your sacrum touch down each time. A little grounding moment before the next lifting. Let your next exhale down be the last one. Pause for a couple breaths after you land. Cross your right ankle above your left knee. Make a figure four shape with your legs. Reach your arms to the sides. Now the main bit of grounding here is the shoulder blades and the hands. Now your sacrum is going to lift off the floor a bit, maybe a lot, as we come into the twist. Let your legs fall to the left and turn your head to the right. And just let your breath wring you out in the twist. Don't worry about how far your legs go. Maybe they go right down, nice and easily. Maybe they don't go that far. Okay. Stay grounded in the upper body. Your legs will go where they need to. Nice and slowly, bring your head and your legs back up to center. Cross your legs the other way. Plant your right foot. Cross your left ankle above your right knee. Stay grounded in the upper body. Let your legs fall to the right and turn your head to the left.
Slowly come back to center. Uncross your legs. Draw your knees towards your chest. Hug your knees. And rock and roll to massage your sacrum against the floor. Any movement that feels good to you. Smaller movements will focus more on the grounding contact with the sacrum. Or maybe you're feeling like bigger movements today, letting that contact change more and more. Maybe you take the movements that aren't about rocking your back against the floor. Maybe making circles in opposite directions with your knees. Bring your knees in, reach your feet out, reach your hands up, take hold of your legs or your feet, however you like. Play with bending and straightening your limbs, exploring movement in happy baby pose. This is the second to last posture that I'll do or offer, but you can do other things if you like. Maybe there are movements or postures you'd like to include in your practice today. Something you want to do between doing happy baby and coming to your final resting pose. And for as long as you like, add in anything else that you like. When you feel complete, make your way to the resting pose of your choice, which might very well be corpse pose with your legs extended and your feet splayed open and your hands at your sides. But it doesn't have to be this posture. It's more important for you to be comfortable than it is to be in corpse pose. Once you find your own comfortable stillness, whatever's right for you, come back to observing your breathing, back where we began. Your breath will slow down and get deeper simply because you stopped moving and you're focusing on it. And maybe all you do is focus on your breathing. Maybe you do even less than that and unfocus. Or maybe you recall an intention you set at the start of practice and reflect upon that. Maybe you just reflect on grounding, noticing all the different points where your body touches the ground, how each point of contact feels, how some of those points change with the movements of your breath, different parts of your body lifting away from the floor and touching down again. Maybe some more spots touch down over time as your body continues to relax.
Start to give yourself some deeper breaths. Slowly invite your body to move around bit by bit. Letting your movements gradually grow bigger. Moving mindfully. There's no rush. Paying attention to grounding with each shift, each movement, each change of position. And when you're ready for bigger movements, gently sit yourself up. And if you like, you can bring your hands up by your heart. Thank you for sharing in practice today. The light within me sees and honors that same light within each of you. Namaste. This is Leo Bray coming to you from Kristen Olson's Urban Yoga Center. Please visit us at urbanyoga.org or Kristen Olson's Urban Yoga Center on Facebook. Stop by the tip jar as you're able, as you move to, and check out the rest of our schedule. We have classes every day. And questions and feedback are always welcome, whether you're here live in the moment or watching me later on YouTube. Have a wonderful day.